second half we played a bit more attacking, and you just saw how we were much more threatening, weren't we? Why don't we play like that more often?
It's because the players can't hack it that often. They can't play with that intensity that
Why
often
not?
because they're not good enough, Sim.
So
It's as
why
simple as
why
that.
so why did we do it
It's
in
as
the
simple
second
as
half? Why did we
it's
do it
as
in the second half?
because Sim, what this team loves to do is whenever this is what I can't understand with the fans, right? With the overall outlook on Spurs at the moment.
Mm.
Every time I've seen Spurs go 1 or 2 nil down, we're losing a game, right? You cannot, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to jump on this board, on this bandwagon, where people say Frank is telling them to go and play like crap in the first half, and then as soon as they start going down by 1 or 2 goals, they all of a sudden they've got this new lease of life, like they're completely different players. That to me is the players actually trying to do something when there's no pressure on them. Conte said it himself before he got sacked. These players don't like to play under pressure. It's exactly the culture that's ingrained at this football club, which is why these players never are held to any accountability when they give performances like that, right? Why is it, Sim, that in the Liverpool game, right, when we went down to 9 men, right, all of a sudden we started playing much better than Liverpool with 9 men on the pitch? Are you going to sit there and tell me that Frank is saying, right, let's go down to 9 men and then go and start playing football? I'm sorry, that's
No,
absolutely
I would
insanity.
argue the tactics go out the window at that point, and we just go for it.
But the thing is, are you going to sit there? I don't think Frank is sitting there saying, right, to the players, go and play complete defensive football and just don't do any effort, nothing. I was listening to Alan Shearer during the match, right? And I was listening to the commentators, and they were saying at the end of the first half, right, they were saying that the players just didn't look like they wanted to play. Like there was no energy, no fight, no desire, no nothing. You cannot sit there and tell me that a professional footballer goes out onto a pitch and looks like they don't want to play football, and then in the second half they look like a completely different team. They look like a completely different team. Why is it that they can get up for a second half when they're 2-0 down, right? But they can't do that at the beginning of the match. To me, Sim, I have seen this far too many times over the years with different managers, different squads, and it's the same shit that happens every single time, right? It's the same. I was watching a video, Sim, that we had on your channel 3 years ago, just
Yeah.
after Conte got sacked, right? And I was watching it the other day, and it's like we're talking about the same things. We're talking about the players being not good enough, the players not wanting to play under pressure, the manager getting sacked again, the club not having a plan. It's the same crap, right? For me, I've never once said I've always said with Thomas Frank, I never wanted him at this football club because I never thought he would be good enough to do the job that Tottenham fans want to see Tottenham, the type of team they want to be, right? He was never going to be that guy. But what people misinterpreted or they're misunderstanding where Spurs are right now, and Nick made a good point about earlier on, is that the fact is we are 17th. We were 17th last season, and fans are expecting a team that's used to losing in the last 2.5 years, right? To then go into an attacking team from where we were last season when we were attacking a bit more often. And I'm going to put it out there because people just don't want to look at the actual facts. Last season, the amount of times when we were losing and getting battered by teams, we weren't playing attacking football. People think we were playing attacking football. All it was we just had more possession and we were further up the pitch a bit more, right? Doesn't mean we were playing more attacking football. We were open like a free brothel. That's how bad it was, right? That's why we kept losing constantly, right? This season, what I see from the players is what I've always seen from Spurs for the last since the Pochettino days, right? Is sometimes they would decide to turn up, sometimes they don't decide to turn up, right? Sometimes they have a good half, sometimes they have a good 15 minutes, sometimes they play shit for the whole game. Sometimes they just defend the whole game, they play on the counter. It's basically what I've seen from this team for years now, right? I haven't seen any difference, right? With Thomas Frank, what I think he can do for Spurs, right, is make us a better team than what we were last year, right? I think he can do that
Has
until
he?
the end of the season, right? Has he? Well, have we lost as many games this season
We haven't
at the
played
same
as
point?
many.
Well,
Probably. I don't know.
this is the whole point. We haven't played as many. I don't think we have, right? So for me, we're still not playing great
We
football,
might
but
with this injury crisis that we're just embarking on now.
well, this is the thing, Sim. Like, if you look at, and that's another thing, Sim, right? If you look at last season, right? Last season, most of our injuries were in defense. Would you agree or would you disagree?
Um, there was a lot in defence, but also Solanke got a 3-month injury. Kadeki got a 3-month injury. Bergval and Madison from April were done. But also Romero,
But
Van der Ven got big injuries.
but
Um,
those players you mentioned, apart from Romero and Van de
Got
Ven,
what? Bentancur got a 7-match ban, whatever it
yeah.
was.
So we've had things like this, right?
Hmm.
But in terms of what I've seen this season, the majority of the injuries this season have been from an attacking perspective. So your
Hmm.
central midfielders and your wingers and strikers. And last season it was predominantly the centre backs because everyone keeps talking about how Archie Gray was playing as our centre back last year with Ben
Yeah,
Davis,
which
right?
is true.
Yeah,
And
which is true.
Vicario was
And
injured for a
Vicario
while.
was also injured as well, right? So we struggled there, but we had the attacking players, right? This season,
Yeah.
we have the defenders more fit, but all the attacking players are injured, right? And yes, we've brought in Kudus, we brought in Muani, we brought in Xavi Simmons, but they haven't lived up to those players. I think Kudus is definitely living up to his expectation. Maybe he could contribute more goals, but he is one of the most creative players in the Premier League this season. So we can't ignore that fact, right?
Yeah,
If we look,
because our whole game plan is give it to Kudus. That's probably why.
yeah, and why do you think that is, Sim?
Why? Because that's Frank's the only one who believes Frank's he likes to go down the wing, and we don't really have a left winger.
Well, so do you blame Frank then for
Yeah,
going down the right wing?
absolutely, absolutely.
So why do you think he does decide to go down to Kudus' side when he was playing
Well,
and not
look at it this way.
utilize
Look
the
at
other
it this way.
players?
Look at it this way, Danny. Do you think Xavi had a good second half today?
I think he had a good second half, yeah.
Yeah. Why have we not seen that more?
Because I think Xavi has been missing the last couple of games because he had a ban, right?
Hmm.
And in the games that he has played, you have seen he is getting progressively better and better as he is playing more and more,
But
right?
did you think it's anything to do with that? We played through the centre a bit more in that second half.
Yeah, I think we did play through the center a bit more.
So why
But
don't we?
it's a good question, Sim. It's a very good question. I think it's down to the players and down to the manager, right? You have to say it's down to both, right?
Hmm.
I don't think it's all on the players. I think the managers also everyone's got to take their piece of the pie of the blame
Hmm.
pie, right? But I do think that the players should be able to put more desire and effort in, right? And how many times have we seen? Look, for me, when you see the Tottenham players again at the end of the match, right, fighting and they're getting into arguments with other players, and we've seen it how many times this season they've been arguments with their own fans and all sorts of crap that we've seen this season,
Yep.
social media stuff, right? There's obviously lots of stuff going on inside the club, and there's clearly a lot of crap going on, whether that's the players are not liking the manager, whatever it is, right? But for me, I don't care if the player doesn't like the manager or not. They're not the players are not at that club to play for the manager. They're there at the club to play for Tottenham Hotspurs, right? That's who they should play for.
Yeah.
The badges they wear. That's who they should play for, right? And if you're getting paid the money that they get paid, that's no excuse to go out onto a football pitch at the money that they get week in, week out and not put effort in for the badge that they wear, right? I don't care who the manager is. I couldn't care less who the manager is, right? I want to see effort from the players, and I have not seen that for years, right? It's too inconsistent. And the reason why it's inconsistent is because we don't have a higher standard of player who can play at that consistently good level on a consistent basis, right? And because of all the injuries in attack, I think Frank is trying to make the most out of the what he's got, and I think he's struggled to find the balance, and he's struggling to find the balance because we keep constantly losing the ball. We can't make 5-yard passes, and our midfield just gets dominated in most matches. And that's because we do not have a midfield that can take the ball and control it and slow the game down and play at the tempo we want to play at, not what the other team's playing at, right? In the second half, what I saw was a team that wanted to fight for it. They had energy. They were just different. They were completely different. And for me, there's no excuses why they cannot play like that on a weekly basis.
But isn't that Frank's job to do that?
So are we going to sit here and say that it's Frank's job to tell the players to give their all every single game, every time they walk out onto the pitch?
For it. Is it motivation? Is that not a part of it?
Frank can motivate players, Sim, but the players at the end of the day are the ones who are on the pitch.
Correct.
Right? If a manager tells me to do a job, right, and motivates me, if I still don't do that job, that's me. That's my fault, right? That's on me.
Right. If the whole team isn't doing their job, then it's on the manager.
But the problem is we're seeing it that the team can do it in periods or in halves, right? So are you going to sit there and say that the manager is going into games and saying, don't play well in this half and then play really well in that half because we've got less pressure?
I think there are some, like today, I reckon he was probably going to that first half more focused on stopping Villa than he was focused on hurting them. And then when all was lost, we're 2-0 down, he goes, you know what, let's just go for it. Go for them because we're 2-0 down.
Then it doesn't make sense that why we would do that when in the second half we against Liverpool, I'm just using that as the example.
Because we're 2-0 down.
Yeah, but how is Frank going to relay that information to the whole team after we've just got two red cards, right, in a game in the second half?
Well, we only got the second red right at the end of the game.
Yeah, but when did we start playing actually good football?
Once Richarlison came on.
When Richarlison came, yeah, but we were still 10 players on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is it that we have to wait until that happens? Why can't we play like that at the beginning of the match? And for me, Sim,
because we wait till all is lost.
Yeah,
but why? But the Fulham game when we were all there, we went 2-0 down after 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We scored a goal in whatever it was in the second half. Then we started playing. But surely, when we were 2-0 down after 6 minutes, we didn't start playing then.
No. Well, we tried.
We didn't.
But we weren't good.
We didn't. I was at that game. It was awful.
I was at that game.
I was with you.
No, you were with me.
No, you were with Barry. Yeah, you were.
Oh yeah, with Nick. Yeah. That was the game.
Sim was with the prawn sandwiches, mate, wasn't he?
Oh
Left
yeah,
us.
he was. Yeah, he was.
Paid for by Daniel Levy, probably.
Yeah, and Nick's right. It's not every time that we. This is why I keep saying.
But my point is that you're saying that it's proven the players can show it. It's on the manager to get out of them.
Sim, I am saying they can show it, right, but not on a consistent basis because they are just not good enough. They are average footballers, and the problem we have is the fans think that these players are good enough players to play like that on a consistent basis, when the last 2.5 years they've clearly proven they cannot do that, right? Because let's just say that he did focus on the Europa League from January last year, right? He had to eliminate one competition, right? After we'd been eliminated from the other competitions, apart from the League Cup, we were in the semi-final still.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we had no other thing to focus on, right?
Yeah.
So we put all our energy into one thing, and even when we did that, we went against Ange's own principles, and the players even said themselves that they had to shut up shop in order to go and progress to the next matches, right? In the Europa League run. So for me, these players are we just don't have the players that can do it on a consistent basis. And if you look at the team today, like, I don't know what people were expecting when you've got our squad is completely decimated with injuries,
mm-hmm.
right? And we have got just players who are available that are not proven in this league, who are at a consistent level. So, like, I heard you saying it earlier on in the show, Nick. I think it was I can't remember who it was, where you were talking about how we don't have a good enough. Our team is not as good as it was last year, right?
Yeah. To Daniel when he was saying who's better, Kolo Muani or Solanke, and I was like, what are we doing here?
I think our team's better this year.
It's not though, Sim.
It is though.
It's not. How is it better? How?
Because last year, for large parts of the season, we didn't have Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven.
But we had all the attacking players.
Or a doggy. Right, who would you rather in your team, Danny? Would you rather have Forster, Gray, and Davis playing, right? Or would you rather have Kudus, Muani, and Xavi?
But are you comparing it to... What are you comparing it to? So are you comparing it to the attack that we had last year and the attack we had this year? Or
Would
what?
I prefer James Maddison, Kulusevski and Son over Muani, Kudus and Xavi?
Yeah, but
Is that what you're saying?
But would you
yes,
prefer,
I would.
Yes, but would you prefer Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven, or Forster, Gray, and Davis? Don't give me... Obviously.
Vicario, yes.
Obviously.
Obviously, you're going to choose them. But why are you...
What's a bigger gap? What's a bigger gap in quality?
The attack.
The attack.
The attack?
Yes.
So you're saying there's a bigger gap... So wait. You're saying there's a bigger gap in quality between Madison, Decky, and Solanke and Son. And Son to what we have now is Xavi, Kudus, and Muani.
Yes.
There's a bigger gap there than to Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven, and Gray, Davis, and Forster. You're saying that that's a smaller gap?
It's the same, Sim.
Oh, come on.
How is it not the same?
Gray is an 18-year-old centre mid who has never played in the Premier League. He's playing centre back week in, week out. Muani's a World Cup fighter.
How many goals has Muani scored in the league?
I don't care. Muani
then your argument is pointless then, Sim,
no,
isn't
it's not. Your argument is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Your argument is crazy.
Where did our goals come from, Sim? You talk about attacking football. You talk about attacking football.
Your argument's nuts.
You talk about attacking football. Where did our goals and assists come from last season?
Yeah, mainly those players.
Oh, so where's the players this season then? Who's going to give up those goals and assists?
and Muani. I just said.
And are they?
Yeah,
but are they?
Sim,
those players.
No, I'm not saying they're as good. I never said they're as good.
Those players are not proven in the Premier League, Sim.
Kudus is.
Last season, how many goals did Kudus score last season?
What about the year before?
Yeah, he was playing in a better West Ham team that season as well.
Exactly. West Ham were bullshit last year and he was playing left wing. What's your point?
The point, Sim, is that we had a better attack last season, so we were able to score more and create more goals. This season, we've had a far weaker attack and we've had a better defence. Isn't there a correlation, Sim, in the fact that we've had a better attack last season and a worse defence last season, but this season we've had a worse attack and a better defence?
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
It's literally the same thing.
You know, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. No, because right now, do we have internationals who've cost big money playing in our forward line? Yes or no?
Tell me
Xavi, Muani, Kudus. They're all internationals, yeah?
Xavi
scored in a Euro semi-final for Holland.
Xavi is a 22-year-old who's never played Premier League football.
Okay.
And
has he played Champions League football, Danny? Has he played Champions League football?
Does that make a difference?
Yes.
Why does it make a difference?
Because he's played at the top level. He's played at the top level. That's why.
Timo Werner's
the Premier League is the hardest league in the world, Sim.
I understand that.
So then you're saying it doesn't matter then? Your argument makes no sense.
Well, how does it make no sense?
Because the Premier League is the most physical and the hardest league to play in because of the physicality.
So you're saying having Xavi is the equivalent of having great centre back in terms of quality?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm saying Madison.
That's what you're saying.
I'm saying Madison is a better player than Xavi Simons in the Premier League because he is proven to be one of the most...
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying Xavi's not shit and he's not as good. He's not as bad as having great centre-back who's a 18-year-old centre-mid who has never played in the Premier League, which is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm
saying our attack overall, Sim, right?
Yeah.
Our attack overall is nowhere near the level that what it was last season.
I don't disagree with that, but it's not bullshit. It's not terrible.
It is because how many? So you're going to sit here and tell me that Tell is great, Odebear is great.
You're putting words in my mouth. I'm saying it's not terrible. You're putting words in my mouth saying it's great. I'm saying it's not terrible. I'm saying Gray, Davis, and Forster is terrible. That's shit. That's relegation quality.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we agree? Is Kudus, Muani, and Xavi relegation quality?
Kudus, Muani, and who?
Xavi. Is that relegation quality?
What's that got
No,
to
that's
do-
not relegation. Quality,
Right,
but that's not
that's
the
my
comparison.
point. So yes, it is the
But
comparison.
that's not the comparison.
Yes,
No, it's
it
not.
is. Yes, it is.
No,
No.
it's not.
It
Nick,
is.
please, like, give
No,
me some
Sim,
sort
it's
of.
not. How's that? How
How?
are you
Because
comparing?
we were comparing last
It's-
season. You're saying, Danny, look, just pause 1 sec. Pause. Okay. You're saying last season, right? We had all our defenders out, so our defense was shit, right? This season, you're saying we have all our attackers out, so our attack is shit, right?
Yes.
My point being is last season we had a shit defense, which is why our defense was shit, right? Yeah,
Right.
can we agree? This season, we don't have a shit attack. We have a decent attack. It's not as good as last season, but it's still decent. It's still got good players in it,
Tell
right?
Richarlison, Odebear, Madison,
No.
Kulu, Madison,
Kudus,
Kulu's son.
Mawani, Xavi. They're good players who cost big money.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
my point.
we have got good players there, Sim. But
There
we don't
we
have
go.
A,
There
oh my
we
God,
go.
you're
They're not
listening.
better.
They're not better.
I never
Sim.
said
They're nowhere
better.
near the level.
Where did
Oh,
I say they were better? Where did I say they were better?
We were saying.
I said they're
You're
decent.
saying that the squad is better this year than last year, and it's not.
Yes, it
not.
is.
No, it's not. I
I
can't
just
believe
showed it to you.
You
Defense,
just
defense,
said,
and goalkeeper, yes. Attack, no.
Yes, because we have the defence this season. We have Romero, Van de Ven, and Vicario.
Oh,
This is
Sim.
crazy.
What do you
This is
mean?
crazy, Sim. This is crazy. Like, I don't understand how you think that we have a
Okay.
better team this year.
Of course we do. Because
No,
we
we
have
don't.
Romero, Van de Ven,
Ben
and Vicario.
Davies
all
is playing
fit.
at left back, Sim.
Yeah, well, how many games has he played?
It doesn't matter. He's on the pitch.
Spence
He's
has
on the
been playing.
pitch.
He's
Sim.
on the
Spence
pitch,
has
though,
been
yeah.
playing.
He's
Spence
on the
has been
pitch.
playing, and Doggy's been injured as well. But
Sim.
Doggy was injured for lots of last season anyway. So that's also doesn't matter.
A doggy's always injured.
Yeah,
A doggy's
okay.
always injured.
Fine.
Right? Well, a doggy's got bad injury problems, of course. So everyone has injury
Vicario
problems.
might as well be injured because he's fucking toilet.
But Sim, this is the thing, right? The issue we have at the moment is that the players who are in an attack. This is how I see what's happening on the football pitch, right? Because our attacking players are not good enough. What happens is, and what I saw again today, is when they get the ball from an attacking position, they either miscontrol it, lose possession, or they misplace a pass.
Or they have
And
no
what
one within 20 yards of them because they've got no options. That's usually what happens.
Well, okay, right. Let's just say that's what it is, right? Then we lose the ball, right? We lose the ball and then the other team has an attack, right? That happens far too much in the last few years, right? Especially, like you say, this season, right? Because the attack are not good enough to control and keep the ball, right? So what that does is it puts pressure on the defense, which is why we concede goals, right?
Very good, Danny. It's
So,
correct.
So Sim, what I'm trying to say to you, because you're obviously not understanding because you're so deluded, right?
Oh my God,
Right? Why is it that we are conceding goals,
Yeah.
and why is it that we can't score enough goals this season or create
Because
enough
of the
goals?
setup.
So it's nothing to do with the players, Sim.
And the players, but mostly the setup.
Okay, if that's what you think. All
Because
right.
we go
So-
long ball constantly. You know where we rank for long passes this season? We're like third in the league. You know that? Because
that's
that's
crazy.
what we
Yeah.
attempt. That's Frank's whole game is get the ball to Porro, lump it forward, and fight for the second ball, or Kudus can get under control. That's what he did at Brentford. That's how we created chances, is literally just going long and playing long ball. When you do go long, you have higher chance of losing the ball. That's how it works, because you've got big defenders who are very physical and they can win the ball back for their team. That's why all the top teams don't do that. They play short, they try and build up, and they build up progressively through the centre and through the
We
thirds,
can't do
or
that
out
'cause
wide.
our players aren't
No,
good
it's
enough.
not just to do with the players.
Yes,
it's what
it
Frank's
is.
instructions. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
okay, but Sim, don't you think, Sim, that he's doing that because we don't have the players to play the way he wants to play?
This is how he wants to play.
No, it's not.
It
He said
is.
it. He said it at the end of the game today. How he played in the second half is how he wants to play.
Well,
so
then,
you're
he
going to
can't,
sit there.
then he's not able to coach how he wants to play because he's not a good enough coach.
No, because he doesn't have the players to do that type of football on a consistent basis. That's the problem. And I'm not going to sit here and say Frankie's going to
But
be
that's
this guy.
not,
who's gonna-
but wait, it's not how he played at Brentford. So why do we expect him to play any differently?
He played a lot better than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's better because they were used to it, but it wasn't any
Yeah,
different.
because he had
They played
years
long
to
ball.
build. Because he had years to build his system and build the players up to play the system.
They were a long ball team, and also teams against Brentford, They don't sit back.
They were brilliant on the transition, Brentford.
Yeah.
They're one of the highest scorers in the league last season.
Yeah.
So we're going to sit there and ignore that then?
Yeah, for a reason. He did very well.
Yeah.
First, we had
because
he had
quality players, Sim. They had Bremo Vista.
They did, but that's also because everyone comes out to try and beat Brentford. No one goes into a game against Brentford and tries to defend. That's not what they do.
I agree with that, okay? But they still played better football than what we're seeing Tottenham play football this season, right? And for me, it's because look, Stel made a good point earlier on, right? And I've been saying this for a long time. If you give Frank players, right, he's going to get us into a top 6 team. He'll make us into a top 6 team. I don't doubt that for a fact. I do not doubt that one bit, right? Especially if we get all of our players fit and firing. He will get us into a top 6 battle for sure. But is there anything else he's going to do? We don't know, right? Maybe not, maybe yes. But fans cannot expect us to go from 17th in the league to challenging for top 4 or top 5 or top 6. It's going to take time because the first thing we've got to do is we need to have a fucking plan and decide what philosophy we want to play, what style of football we want to play, and then bring in the people who are going to be able to implement that plan.
Correct.
Right?
I agree. And Frank is not that guy, is my point.
He might not be that guy, Sim. We don't know that, right? Okay, let's just, for argument's sake, he is not that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Then what happens is we've got if he gets sacked, right? Whether it's this, I don't know, whether it's in the next couple of games or end of the season, they have got to sack anyone who's related into the team that they built for recruitment, right? Because this recruitment structure they've got at this football club is what I think is one of the biggest problems. Not just the board, right? I think it's the way that the club are recruiting. It is a disgrace. The way that we've recruited under Lange and Paratici over the last few years is diabolical. And I think if they want to get an attacking manager or someone who's going to play that style of system or that style of football, then they need to bring in people like your Paul Mitchells, those type of people who are going to actually bring in players that fits a philosophy of a manager, so they're all going the one way. Right now, I don't think the club even know what they're going to do. That's why Frank is probably still in the job, right?
I agree with that.
I think what they will do is, if we keep losing games, the next 3 or 4 games, I'm not sure he's still going to be in a job. I think they probably will pull the trigger. But we still have to wait and see what happens in this January window, because the only thing we've signed right now is a 19-year-old kid, which is ridiculous because we've now lost another striker for an injury, and we've got 2 midfielders and 1 winger fit, 2 wingers fit for the next however long, next few months. So they've got some serious work to do, and if they don't do that work, Sim, honestly, mate, I couldn't care less who the manager is. Because if they don't do what they should do in this window, to me, it shows me that they will never have a plan and they will never change, right? And that's why I said, bring back Ryan Mason, give him a 50-year contract, bring in Harry Winks, get them all back. Let's all sign them all back in, and let's just have some fun. Because honestly, like, I couldn't care less at the moment.
I'm up for some fun. I am up for some fun, that's for sure. Get Ange back.
Oh, God.
Bring the chaos.
What about if we bring Emerson Royale back then, Nick?
Ange and Emerson, let's just do it.
Get the team back together.
Get the band back together.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Do you know what the funny thing is?
Well, yeah,
do you know what the funny thing is? All these problems started when Emerson Royale got sold.
Do you know, before I go, I just think that it right now, I know fans want the manager sacked, and I've heard all the things about who they want to bring in as an interim, because let's face it, there's no way they're going to get a permanent manager if they sack Frank in the next month, right, within the next couple of weeks.
No, Danny, but you know what the answer is, and you know what ENIC will do, because ENIC did this when they got rid of Daniel Levy. They got themselves off the hook a little bit. They'll bring back Poch because it will make everyone feel good again. And when Poch fails, what's the excuse going to be? Oh, is it going to be Poch? Is it going to be the manager again?
Of course it'll be the manager.
It won't be these players or the board or anything else.
Of course it'll be the manager. Of course, it always is, Nick. It's always the manager, never the players of the board. I know some of us do know that the board are the biggest problem in this football club, but the thing is that you have to build. The reason why Potts worked the first time because he had everything in place. It kind of all fell together at the same time. Everything came together at the same time, and he was able to kind of. The way he did it was he kind of dragged us into a new culture with the board above him trying to keep us back down where they wanted us. And when he got to that point where he had to go to the next level, that's when they were at loggerheads because they didn't want to make that step and he did. And that's where it all fell apart. And it's just been on a downward spiral ever since then. And for me, like, it's why I say it's him. I never wanted Frank in the first place. I thought he was a sideways step to Ange. I rather would have seen Ange given a go with some better quality players. As much as he was.
My guy.
As much as he was. Not the guy. He deserved to be given the chance. And I said that as well before he got sacked because of what he did. And I think if you give him top players, maybe you'll see a different outcome. Maybe you won't, but at least he deserved the chance because I thought going for someone like Thomas Frank, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like none at all. So for me, that's why I say I don't care who the manager is. If he gets sacked, good riddance.
Danny.
If he gets sacked, like good riddance, right? I'll be interested to see what plan this club have in place for him going because if he goes, Lange has to go 1,000,000%. He has to go. Like he has to go with Thomas Frank if they sack him. Because if he stays, forget it. Just you might as well just rip up your season ticket. Like honestly. And I feel sorry for the people who are gonna have to renew because I don't think I'll renew if Lange is still at this football club next season.
Danny, appreciate you calling, bro. Nice to see you. Everyone's
nice to see you boys as well.
Danny. What a great ending to the call.
You deluded Danny.
Should have given Ange season 3. Season 3, what we didn't have.
Look at all these people now coming in saying, "Oh, we love Ange. We should have given Ange another season." Two of the biggest flip floppers ever. Stell and
I was
Danny.
saying it before.